Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Friday the 26th of April and I'm in the read nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. What I'm going to pull it out of here is this. Everything I Need to Know I Learned from RPGs, a player's handbook for the game of life. This is written by Jeff Ashworth and it is published by, let's have a look, Media Lab Books. So, always roll with advantage. One of the reasons tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons & Dragons have grown in popularity since their inception is they allow us to escape the mundane and magicless realities of our daily lives. Anyone, regardless of the physical skill, mental acuity or charisma, can feel like an all-powerful adventurer. Unfortunately, when the dice are put away, players must return to reality and tackle important quests such as getting the miserly noble to give you a rise, and finding there a way to apply wizard-like abilities in the game world to the trials you must face outside of it. Now there is Everything I Need to Know I Learned from RPGs, a player's handbook for the game of life. Jeff Ashworth, author of the best-selling Game Master series of resource books for 5th edition, combines knowledge about the mechanics of D&D, Starfinder, Warhammer 40,000 and more, with universal experiences gathered while playing campaigns to create a rule set for levelling up your character, aka you, in the real world, featuring invaluable lessons drawn from tabletop role-playing games. Always check for traps, never underestimate the power of a short rest. Every adventure is better with snacks, as well as in-depth analysis of the ways character classes can be successful models for varying approaches to life. Anger is my strength, how to live like a barbarian and keep your job. This insightful, persuasive book also features Chris Seaman's stunning illustrations of horrifying real-world monsters, like that pile of junk in the garage, the soul-sucking ghost of nostalgia, and the many-headed hydra of personal finance. With more hilarious practical lessons than you can fit in a bag of holding, it's a self-improvement book for anyone seeking guidance, both the spell and advice for quests to come. So you have to ask yourself, with a book like this, everything I need to know I learned from RPGs? Well, you probably learned something from RPGs. What did I learn from RPGs? I got good at arithmetic, and I got good at reading, and I learned how to become an editor by reading role-playing books and writing reviews of them, and then transitioning to being a proofreader and then an editor. So that's me, and so open up, got a nice patterned inside, front, back. Dedication and contents. Some illustrations there. Not all of them in questionable. All of them of unquestionable taste, and then some comments about Dungeons and Dragons, including one from Christianity Today. Basically, these are basically from Christian responses to Dungeons and Dragons. So, I'm bearing in that mind, the introduction starts off with the quote, D&D is the devil, which is for many people, I say many people, some people, it still is, if you are of a particular religious persuasion. I'm not, so I don't believe that. I think it's more beneficial than that. But anyway, we start off with classy advice and how to live like an artificer without blowing up your house. Not a class I actually want to play, so or normally play. But there we go. Here's the advice on how to do. Consider the angles. The job determines the tools, and live like an artificer. You've got a table there of options, and then my anger is my strength. How to live like a barbarian and keep your job. Yeah, somehow know that feeling. But rage is not an action, but nevertheless, you are, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, is the famous phrase, and leverage your appetite. So, it's doing the same for each of the classes. So you've got a section on bards, you're doing great, how to live like a bard without learning guitar. Yeah, that will be me. I'm not interested in learning guitar. It's bigger than me, how to live like a cleric without sleeping at a temple. which is things like taking finding a higher calling, offering guidance, finding time to commune, and when all fails, turn the undead. And actually, how to live like a druid without needing to hibernate. Can't stop, won't stop. How to live like a fighter without carrying a weapon, which is fairly amusing. And you sort of like, I do like the illustrations. They're quite good. They're quite good. They're pretty good. And so it is cueing those Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition kind of terms. So remember your training, become relentless, and find your second wind. Oddly, how to burn it down like an immolator. Well, that's that's not an official class, and it's not even an unofficial class that I'm aware of. Not saying that doesn't exist, but it's not one I'm aware of. And then we move on to doing the same for a monk, and then paladin, ranger, rogue. Probably the least class you want to live like, because it says how to live like a rogue without getting arrested. Sorcerer, how to roll with it when life gives you no choice. It's who you know, how to live like a warlock without selling your soul. You know how you feel about that. How to live, be the change. How to live like a wizard without carrying a wand. So that's general Dungeons and Dragons classes. Shoot for the stars. We're looking at Starfinder classes. Not quite so heavily emphasized here. The much shorter sections. And then we have tips from the table, hard-won victories, etc., etc. What can you learn from actually playing at the table? Going on a hero's journey without going on a hero's journey, if you will. Hope for a 20, prepare for a 1. Well, yes, that's pretty good, I suppose. Always prepared to be disappointed. Basically, optimism isn't a strategy, but it's better than pessimism. Is a nice counter. Making a charisma check. Role playing requires knowing your role. Yeah. So yeah, in general. And then we've got some fairly generalizations. Don't split the party. Sometimes it's best to hold your action. And the thing is, you think about this for Dungeons and Dragons is 50 years old this year. I mean, how many of these pieces of advice, have been given out over and over in the past 50 years? Quite a lot of them. So they're not unfamiliar if you're a gamer of, with some experience. It's the friends we make along the way, part of play. You've got further little pieces of advice. And we have advanced lessons from different games, from Dungeon World, Warhammer 40,000, Honey Heist. Oh, and Fiasco. And then being inspired by real-world monsters, like the Pile of Perpetual Clutter. I bet most people know that one. Apart from unless you're Marie Kondo, the Me Holder, the Many-Headed Hydra of Personal Finance. the ghost of nostalgia. And the thing is, there is suggested stat blocks for these creatures as well. So you can throw them back into the game if you want to. The FOMO swarm. Yeah, I know that feeling. And the internet troll. I mean, you know, if you were playing a game of, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, basically the modern version of Dungeons and Dragons, sort of, you know, pay bills and paychecks or whatever it's called. The ooze of existential dread. Yeah, this is quite amusing. Quite amusing. Time vampire. Yep, already run into these and so many more. And then you've got some spells. So accountability, budget, can-do spirit, that you can sort of like bring back into the game. Firm handshake. So that is everything I need to know. I learned from RPGs. We even have a section on curses, you know, things you're going to be suffering from, like arrogance and laziness and surprise guests and things, and some magical items, mundane ones, glasses of reading, mom bag of holding, poncho protection, paper towels of absorption. Yeah, all a bit silly, a bit tongue-in-cheek. And there you've got the acknowledgements. So that is everything I need to know I learned from RPGs. Well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be able to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.